Caden Black leads things off for Oak Ridge. The first pitch to him is a ball outside. Bounces all the way back to the backstop and returned back by Mikey Teasley. Kind of a cloudy, overcast sky. Here's the pitch to Caden on the outside corner at the knees for a called strike. That evens the count at 1-1 James, what about those songs?
I have no idea what's happened. Our walk-up music's glitching over here, David.
On April Fool's Day. Oh, once again, Caden Black is Caden Black and Blue, and off to first he goes, hit by another pitch.
Caden Black takes his base.
I don't know that I have ever seen somebody so low-key as him. It's not like they hit him because he runs his mouth or he's kind of a hot dog. He minds his own business. He goes about his work. He just up on the plate a little bit, but he gets hit more than any person besides Muhammad Ali that I've ever seen in my life. And he's the base runner at first, and you can expect him to go. Wildcats facing Andrew Hill, and the pitch is up high, a ball, 1 and no strikes. We've faced him a ton of times over the last several years. He's a good pitcher for them, good right-hander, throws hard. As Caden Black and Blue would tell you right now as he takes his lead off of first. Mikey steps in, 1 no strikes to him. Good move over to first, but Caden easily back to the bag. Hill once again checks the runner. Bigger lead this time for Caden. Going. Pitch down low. The throw not in time. That is a stolen base for Caden Black, and he is in scoring position on yet another stolen base. You know he's going to go, and it's just when.
Yeah, Caden's so fast that if he gets on base at all, I mean, you might as well pitch to him. I don't know why everybody's intentionally hitting him, but you might as well pitch to him because at least maybe you can hold him to a single. If he gets on first on a walk, he's gone.
Surely they don't hit him on purpose. I mean, he's such a low-key guy. Why would you hit that guy of all people?
I would argue maybe over the last 2 seasons he might have more hit by pitches than actual hits.
I don't know about that, but as that pitch is hit in the air, very high, very deep, left fielder back on it, all the way to the wall, off the wall. Caden had to hold up because when he hit the ball, that ball was hit so high. I mean, right at around the 368 mark. When he hit it, it was so high, I thought there's no way in the world that's going to get out, but it just kept drifting and drifting and drifting. That's why Caden had to kind of stop at second. So that is a double for Mikey Teasley. So the Wildcats have runners at second and third with nobody out, and the batter is the junior first baseman, Peyton Witter. Right-handed hitter facing Andrew Hill. The pitch to the plate, outside a ball, 1 no strikes the count. Camden Welch in the first inning gave up a couple of base runners but left them stranded. Hill trying to do the same to the Wildcats here in the bottom of the first. Pitch, that's way inside and low. 2 no strikes. Parker Free is on deck. Parker parked one on Friday, I guess it was.
Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Portland.
Oh, yeah. I was down in Atlanta. Oh, that's inside again. I thought we were going to have Peyton Witter being knocked and hit too, but ball's inside. 3 no strikes. Hopefully the weather will stay good for us the rest of the night. It is kind of overcast and iffy.
It's been a little overcast all day, but feels kind of good.
3 no strikes. The pitch, breaking pitch, in there for a called strike at the belt, and the count is 3-1. Nobody out, 2 on. The Wildcats batting in the bottom of the first inning. Sean,
anytime you got a chance to take an early lead here, David, you want to capitalize on that for sure. Get the momentum in your favor.
Good fastball there, cut on and missed, and the count is full now. 3 and 2 strikes. How fast was that? 81 mile per hour fastball, 3-2 pitch. Way outside, ball 4. Just kind of overthrew that one. The Wildcats have the bases loaded against a really good Central team to start. And I agree with what James said a moment ago. You want to get a good lead on them. because this is a really good pitcher. If he settles in and pitches the way he can pitch, the Wildcats need to take advantage of his situation right now as they bat with the bases loaded, and here comes Parker Free. Parker, freshman, as I mentioned, he hit a home run, knocked in 3 or 4 runs on Saturday against Westview. The walk-up song's slightly different from what they're accustomed to. Let's see what Parker can do against Andrew Hill. A hit batsman, a double, and a walk have caused a mess for Hill, and that pitch is way up high and outside, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes.
David, I might just wait until Hill can throw 2 consecutive strikes, maybe to take the bat off my shoulder. I don't know, or something close, 2 pitches close.
Parker's smart like that. Good baseball mind. See what he does here. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That breaking pitch goes inside, way inside. Kind of might have slipped out of his hand a little bit because you could see his reaction as soon as he let it go. The count is 2 balls and no strikes.
I think he tried to throw that pitch twice to Peyton, the batter before, and kind of missed in a very similar spot, just not as close.
Bases full of Wildcats. Infield is in at first, just almost to the grass. Pitch is hit foul off to the right side. Behind it, but foul. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Nobody out, bases full of Wildcats. In the first inning, Parker Free will be followed by Camden Welch, the pitcher. It's righty versus righty here. Pickoff play and just back to the bag. There's the Wildcats' Mikey Teasley. And that was a really good move because Mikey had taken a big lead, and he honestly might have been caught there. The throw was a little bit high. If the throw's right at the bag, he might be out.
I don't know. I thought he may have tagged him out there, David. I was a little worried. I was kind of glad they came up with the safe sign.
Good thing there's no replay. Parker had words with Coach Travis Free down at the third base coaching box. Camden Welch is on deck. Wildcats trying to break this 0-0 tie here in the bottom of the first. Parker's got a 2 ball, 1 strike count on him. Big hole hit in between third and short.
Yeah, look at the outfield. If he just hits a line drive almost to left center.
Hit foul again off the hands, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes.
They're playing him really far toward right field there, David. A huge gap right over a shortstop.
See if Parker can get around on Hill. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the pitch. Breaking pitch hit in the air. That's going to get at least 1 run in. It's kind of a shallow ball. Here comes the throw, and they didn't get the run in. Good throw by their center fielder, and good throw keeps Caden at first. Nick Reardon with a nice throw, and the bases remain loaded.
Stepping in now for the Wildcats, pitcher number 23, Camden Welch.
Camden Welch. I don't know if Caden would have made it or not. The throw was up the first base line, but, better than being gunned down at the plate for a double play. Let's see what Cam can do. 1 out, the pitch to him. Breaking pitch on the outside corner for a called strike.
I don't know, David. I would have a lot of confidence in Caden Black's speed there, especially as you don't know if he's going to bobble the catch or not, but Caden's really quick.
Yeah, in high school ball, you don't know what the throw is going to be like, but obviously a little respect out there for Reardon in center field. Camden back in, pitch ripped deep right center field. That should be deep enough. Here comes Reardon. Here comes the throw. This time it's way up the line, cut off, and the Wildcats score. That is an RBI sacrifice fly and an RBI. Caden Black scores the first run of the ball game, and Oak Ridge leads it 1-0. Better now will be Richie Ferreira. Richie is the right fielder for the Wildcats. Nothing like a little air supply. A little air supply for Richie. Wow. You know, have I ever told you my encounter with air supply? One of my
I believe so, but I don't remember the story.
one of my many jobs that I had when I was in college, I was working at Six Flags Over Georgia, and Air Supply was doing a concert at Six Flags. That pitch almost hits him, and I was the foreman of the what they call the free fall ride. And I get a call from the management and saying Air Supply wants to ride the free fall. That pitch is low and outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. So I said, okay. So we Air Supply, the two guys come in through the exit. They get on the ride, and they ride it. That pitch is way outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. And they want to ride it over and over and over. They went around 3 times where we had to stop the whole line for Richie Ferreira's favorite group, Air Supply. That's my as Richie walks. And now Warren East will bat. You know, when you've lived a long time and you've had a lot of goofy jobs like I have, you kind of run into a lot of interesting stories. I guess that is the way it is for most people. Uptown Girl. Okay. That's not a bad song. I don't think Warren will be too upset with that song, honestly. I mean, that's not a bad song at all.
It's a great song.
Yeah. Do you know who sang that?
Billy Joel.
You want me to tell you my Billy Joel story?
I would love to hear it. Let's just hear them all.
Okay, here's the pitch. Billy Joel, when we opened Truist Park up, the first thing before there was a baseball game, Billy Joel did a concert to test the speakers at Truist Park.
Did you get to hear him live? Was it just a test, or was it like almost
No,
a
it was
full
live.
concert?
It was a concert with 50,000 people. Yeah. Pitch to the plate, and a throw down the first, and Richie's back. I think he called a strike, so it's no balls and 2 strikes. You know, this year, Def Leppard, Journey are coming down. Maybe I'll have a story to tell about them at some point. I saw Metallica, too. I'll tell you that story as well, as Richie is chased back to the bag.
Bueller.
I have never smoked marijuana in my entire life.
I did not know we were going here, David.
But after that, oh, here we go. No balls and 2 strikes to Warren. Caden Black is on deck. Throw over to first, and Richie back to the bag. But when I left that concert, the Metallica concert, my whole nostrils, clothes, and everything smelled of marijuana.
Didn't you say that is the largest crowd in
Yes,
Truist Park
yeah,
history?
well over 50,000. It was huge. Pitches, a breaking pitch stays outside and low, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. It was a great concert there for a bunch of old guys. They were really good, and they had their stage and their special effects were unbelievable. I think they have 3 different stages in east, middle, and west of the country, so they don't have to travel all around where they go. Cut on missed, and that's going to be a strikeout and a stolen base, though, for Richie Ferreira. So that's out number 2 in the second inning. The Wildcats will need a hit from their leadoff man, Caden Black.
The shortstop, number 11, Caden Black.
Caden is the batter, hitting from the left side. Caden was hit by a pitch, stole a base, and scored the only run of the ball game to this point. Andrew Hill, right-hander, comes to the plate. Ball bounces away, and Richie's going to advance to third. Ball bounced right at the plate. I'm not sure whether it was a pass ball, wild pitch. I mean, I think most likely probably in the dirt. So Richie's at third, so another bad one. Maybe the junior can come sprinting home.
Maddox just asked if our songs were fixed, David.
Breaking pitch, they say, is outside, and the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Will Maddox, I think actually Coach Branson knows exactly what he's doing by playing him.
I have no idea.
2 balls and no strikes. Maddox, it's an April Fool's joke. I think that's what he's doing it for. There's a called strike, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Runner at third, Richie Ferreira. Richie walked, stole second, reached third on a wild pitch. That ball's hit to left center field and deep. It's over the head of the left fielder. Richie Ferreira comes in to score, and into second with a double, an RBI double, is Caden Black, and the Wildcats lead the Bobcats 2-0. Thank you. 1 ball, 1 strike. We are in the top of the 3rd inning. 1 out, nobody aboard. Reardon the batter. Pitch to him, cut on and missed. Might have been foul tipped at the plate. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You know, Central, really smart baseball team, able to work themselves out of several bad scenarios.
Yeah, the ball was hit pretty well, that last one by Peyton, but right to the left fielder. 2-strike pitch, called strike 3. That is the 3rd strikeout of the ball game for Camden Welch, and that is out number 2 here in the 3rd.
Stepping in now for Central, number 19, the shortstop, Blake Mills.
Of his 3 strikeouts, 2 of them have been looking. So the batter now is Blake Mills. He walked, managed to get all the way around to 3rd, but was stranded at 3rd in the 1st inning. And he takes a strike on the outside corner, and the count is 0-1. 2 outs, nobody aboard. We're in the top of the 3rd inning in a district ball game being played here in Oak Ridge. The Wildcats 2-1 in district play, 2 wins over Carnes, a loss to Powell. 1-strike pitch, 2-strike pitch, and the count is 0-2.
You know, Cam does a great job once he gets settled in. 2nd, 3rd inning, he's pretty much cruised really well so far. That 1st inning, a little bit of a struggle, but again, to his credit, able to work out of it, and Wildcat defense helping him out.
No balls, 2 strikes. Cam's pitch, cut on a miss. They go sit down. That is strikeout number 4 for Camden Welch, and more importantly, that is out number 3 for the Central Bobcats. So they go 1, 2, 3 for the first time in the ball game. We go to the bottom of the 3rd here at Bobby Hopkins, 2-0 Oak Ridge. We'll be back in a moment. It'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the Central lineup. It'll be Andrew Hill, Cole Wessel, Kalen Chesney. First pitch to Andrew is a called strike. Andrew reached on a fielder's choice back in the 1st inning. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. 51 pitches now for Camden. That pitch is outside and high, and the count is even. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Once again, everybody up here pulling double duty except for Connor, David.
You know, Connor only does one job, and I guess he does it well. I guess. Pitch is hit right up the middle. That's a base hit. That is the 2nd hit of the ball game against Camden, and the leadoff man, and what a hustle there by Andrew Hill. He took advantage. I think Warren just kind of figured he probably wouldn't go, and he just never really stopped and got a double out of it. Coach Free not too happy with that, but you know, that's a teaching moment there for the freshman center fielder. Batter now is Cole Wessel. Wessel walked, I believe, back in the 1st inning, looking at my handwriting. Ball is hit right back to Camden, and he makes the catch for the out.
Camden Welch.
That is the 1st out of the inning. Hill obviously had to stay put at 2nd. Batter now is Kalen Chesney, strikeout victim back in the 1st. Let's see if he lays one down. I just remember him, if he's the same guy I remember, just putting bunt after bunt after bunt down.
They would bring him in just to bunt, remember, because he came in with 2 strikes.
He squares to bunt there and hits it foul off to the left side.
Because we were amazed that they would substitute somebody in to bunt on 2 strikes.
Right. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Chesney the batter. Chesney was a strikeout victim, as I said, back in the 1st. Got 1 out. The Bobcats have a runner at 2nd. Is that a runner for Hill out there, James? That ball is hit foul off towards Gray Strang Field and out of play. Count is 1-2.
That is a designated runner for Hill, who's the pitcher in the game. That is number 20, Noah Pointer.
Thank you, Pointer. Thanks for pointing that out to me.
If I had a laser, I would point him out on the field.
Good point. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lefty versus lefty. Hit over the head of Mikey Teasley. Wildcats would have had a play. Side tries to get the ball in. The ball just over the top of Mikey Teasley's glove at third, and they've got runners on the corners with 1 out.
Stepping in now for the Bobcats.
Second hit of the inning for Central.
Number 1.
So they've got the tying runners aboard. And the batter will be Samuel Myers. Samuel, little pop up to the second baseman, Noah Wood, to lead off the second inning. Runners on the corners in a 2-0 ball game. Andrew Hill, their pitcher, kind of limited his damage. Let's see what Camden can do. Got good speed at first, steps off the rubber. Back on he goes. As I mentioned, he's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Throw over to first. Easily back to the bag. A very short lead. Incidentally, Peyton Witter still at first. Noah Woods at second. Caden Black is at short. Mikey Teasley still the third baseman. Cy Stevens in left. Warren East in center. Richie Ferreira is in right field. And Parker Freeze behind the plate. Camden Welch, the sophomore, to the plate. Took a stab at it. They asked for help, and they say he swung. Much to the disagreement of our friends from North Knoxville.
David, I was just noticing on that throw over to first, I didn't realize Peyton is a lefty thrower. He bats right-handed, but throws lefty over there at first base. So quick throw to home if need be.
That's kind of like Brian Leffler when he played baseball here. He did that unorthodox way. I asked his dad one time, Brian Leffler, our trainer, I asked him why he did that. I asked his dad that, and he said, I kept putting the bat in his hand, and he would just go to the right side. It felt more comfortable to him, and I guess maybe I'll ask Peyton that at some point. They've got him picked off if they want to go that way, and they throw the ball into the outfield, and they're going to score 1 run, and they're going to have a runner at third. They're going to get the green light. Caden Black's going to throw it home, and he is out. He's out. You're out. You're out. You're out. Chesney gunned at the plate. Third base coach, get a shot of their coach arguing. He ran all the way up the line. Caden gunned him. The throw was high. Parker puts the tag on him, and the argument continues. And he shows the umpire exactly where he was, where he put the tag down, and still continues to argue. It's a moot point. He's out. He's out. And it's 2 outs in the inning, but 1 run does score. Welcome back once again to Bobby Hopkins. Miles Johnson takes over for Andrew Hill on the mound for the Central Bobcats. Miles started the ball game in left field. Now let's see where Andrew Hill is playing now in the field, I would assume. And
Let me check, David.
yeah, you want to take that bat out of the lineup for sure, as Mikey Teasley leads things off against Miles Johnson. A little bit of a delay as we start play in the bottom of the 5th. The batter for Oak Ridge is Mikey Teasley. He doubled, and he has walked in the ball game intentionally. And he leads things off in the bottom of the 5th in a 2-1 ball game. Pitch is a breaking pitch at the knees for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike the count. Miles is a right-hander. Has the sign, the 1-strike pitch. Hit on the ground. Second baseman fields it cleanly, throws on the first badly, and throws the ball away, and Mikey Teasley will advance down to second. Easy ground ball there, and unfortunately for the second baseman, Samuel Myers, he just didn't come up with it cleanly, and he throws a bad one, and the Wildcats have a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Peyton Witter, the batter now for the Wildcats. Peyton is 0 for 1 in the ballgame, lined out to left. He walked in the first inning. Wildcats could use some runs here in a 2-1 ball game. Nobody out, runner at second. Pitch, called a strike. And the count is no balls and 1 strike. Teasley and Cy Stevens like to wear those kind of bright colored shoes. As Mikey takes his lead off of second base, Miles Johnson really made a good pitch. Got a ground ball to the second baseman. He just didn't make a good throw.
Yeah, Mikey was good contact there and just able to hustle it out and, not give up on the play there.
Here comes the throw down and back. Mikey thought about going. The ball bounced away from the catcher just a bit, as you saw, but not far enough. Mikey thought about it, then thought better of it, and then they threw down and easily back to the bag he goes. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Peyton, as I mentioned, he's 0 for 1 with a walk. Nobody out. 2-1 Oak Ridge, bottom of the 5th. Mikey takes a bigger and bigger lead off of second. The pitch is hit softly on the infield. First baseman in fair territory makes the catch for out number 1.
Stepping in now for the Wildcats. Number 2, catcher, Parker Freeze.
Parker Freeze the batter. Parker flew out 2 times in this ball game. Once to center field, once to right field. He is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Coach Travis Free has words with his base runner, Mikey Teasley, out at second base, and he returns to the bag. Coach Free keeping a watchful eye on his sophomore, who takes his lead off of second, while his son bats from the right side, 0 for 2 in the ball game. Miles Johnson in relief of Andrew Hill in the 5th. 1 out. Parker asks for timeout. It's granted, and he steps out of the batter's box.
I would assume, David, maybe Andrew Hill goes to center where maybe not, but that's the only – I don't think that's Hill out there in left. So maybe they move there. That's what I was thinking, too. Maybe third base. I just can't tell the number.
There's a balk, and Wildcats will get Mikey Teasley down to third. So mistake there by Miles Johnson. And now just a little bit closer to the Wildcats getting an opportunity to score. Parker with 1 out. Can do a lot more things at third, obviously. Now the infield comes in. That's maybe a mistake. As contact hitter that Parker is, anything hit hard is going to go through the hole. Pitches a ball outside. The count is 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, and Parker saw 1 pitch in his last at bat, and it was hit on a rope out to right field over there. And Parker, anything that he makes contact on, Mikey's probably going to score either way.
He's hit 2 fly balls today, both outs. 1-0 pitch. There's a called strike at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike, our count.
It's pretty impressive the power that some of our younger guys have. You think about Warren East and Parker, who both make really good contact, even Mikey Teasley, too.
We have 3 home runs as a team, and 2 of them are by freshmen. So, pitch to Parker is up high and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Home plate umpire has been very consistent with his calls today. Can't really argue at all, really. I know the Central coach didn't like the play at the plate, and they didn't like a play at second, but they both went against them. Here's a throw over to third, and
they both looked out to me, and to the credit of the Wildcats, I thought that Mikey Teasley possibly could have been out on that 1 throw to second. So, but that's not on our umpire behind the plate. That's our field umpire.
2 balls, 1 strike. Like I said, the infield is in. The pitch to Parker is hit to center field. That's going to get a run in. Tagging at third, Mikey Teasley. Reardon's throw is not in time. Sacrifice fly, RBI. And the Wildcats have their 3rd run of the ball game. Welcome back once again to Bobby Hopkins, 3-1 the score. Wildcats in the lead. Camden Welch still pitching for the Wildcats. Leading things off, the top of the order. Once again, that's Nick Reardon. He was at bat in the previous inning when their runner was caught stealing. 1 ball, 1 strike the count.
That's twice that's happened to Central. You don't see that more than once in a game usually, that they've had 2 runners thrown out trying to steal.
The coach has been pretty aggressive, but the Wildcats have either stolen their signs or just kind of figured, okay, they're going to go here. Wildcats have made some really nice plays. I'm going to put a picture on that too. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reardon back in. The pitch, breaking pitch. Oh, a nice one there by Camden Welch, and the count is 1-2. Actually, look in there and see if you see a picture of Mikey. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Reardon, the leadoff man in their lineup, takes one outside and low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on, nobody out. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Bobby Hopkins Field, this district ball game. Pitchers duel, 3-1. The Bobcats have used 2 guys, Andrew Hill and Miles Johnson. Both pitchers have given up runs. The balk really a big play in the previous inning to allow Mikey to get to third to score on the sacrifice. Breaking pitch. Oh, boy. I guess it either was high or outside. Looked pretty good, about belt high on the corner.
Yeah, that was a great pitch there, David. And, really Mikey got on because of a throwing error and got to second. And so really errors for that whole inning allowed Mikey to score.
3-2 pitch, and that is ball 4.
Reardon takes his base. Batting now for Central, the shortstop.
So the leadoff man is aboard. The tying run comes to the plate in the person of Blake Mills. Mills walked and struck out in the game. Camden kind of stretching out his back. He's pitched a lot of pitches to this point. I'll ask Jeff how many he has total. 84 pitches. Camden Welch, he's a big, strong sophomore. Here's the pitch, hit in the air, right field. Richie Ferreira in, and can't make the catch, and then it bounces behind him. And they're going to get runners at second and third, and here's the throw. The Wildcats didn't back up the base, but they've got runners at second and third. Richie had a long way to go, and I thought the ball kind of hung up just a bit, but Richie just couldn't quite get to it. And then as it comes, it bounces behind him, and now they've got the tying runners in scoring position with nobody out here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, absolutely, David. You want to do everything you can as a fielder to keep that ball in front of you, even if you're not going to get it. Maybe play it on one hop and try to get somebody out at second, as it looks like we'll be intentionally walking Andrew Hill here, bringing up the 4-hole hitter, Cole Wessel.
I don't want to be thinking back to the Bearden ball game. The last time I saw a batter walked intentionally to load the bases. Not good things happen, but Coach Free, he knows his pitcher. As the batter now will be Cole Wessel. Cole, let's see. He had walked, I believe, in the first inning and was out on a pop fly to the pitcher, a line drive to the pitcher. He's a right-handed hitter.
That was that little bunt, David, that they caught in the air.
Number 4 hitter, and that one's outside. But, I don't blame him because Andrew Hill has done damage against the Wildcats in the past. You don't want to let that guy beat you. Bases loaded, nobody out. Infield is playing at normal depths except at third. That pitch is a called strike at the belt, and it evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
I know this is their 4-hole hitter, David, but do you think they'll attempt a bunt here at any point with
No,
the bases loaded?
I don't think so. I think this guy's going to swing away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch is down low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Got to have your control if you walk intentionally somebody to load the bases, and you don't want to walk a run in. Camden's thrown a lot of pitches. Pitches hit foul. Out of play. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. What a game. Really one of the better games we've seen in terms of just competitiveness. 2 good pitchers, some clutch hitting, just a good game.
This series over the last 2 to 3 years has really been a tight one anyway, and really good games on all the way around. No real blowouts.
2-2 pitch. Hit in the air, foul again. Off to the right side and out of play.
If I remember correctly, we had to have a walk-off against Central last year at our home game. Maybe Tyler Pickens or somebody hit a walk-off to take.
We did have a walk-off. I think it was either him or Eddie. I can't remember. As it's a 2 ball, 2 strike count. The pitch hit on the ground softly. It's going to be a bang-bang play at first, and he doesn't make the play. Throws it wild, and the run scores, and the bases remain loaded.
Reardon will score. Stepping in now for the Bobcats. Right fielder, number 17.
Bases remain loaded as the Wildcats commit their second error of the inning. Bases are loaded, 3-2, and there's still nobody out. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a squeeze here as Kalen Chesney is the batter. He singled to shallow left field and struck out in the first. Pitch to him is hit right to the shortstop. They should have a double play. There's one, not in time, and it's tied. I think Caden tried to take it himself, and he did. And with Chesney's speed, probably the best thing to do would be to go to Noah, but it's easy for me to say up here, and we are tied at 3-3.
Stepping in now for Central, second baseman, number 1, Samuel Myers.
Fielder's choice.
Looks like we're going to have a pitching change. Wildcats, a couple of errors in the inning, like the balk in the fifth inning hurt the Bobcats. The two errors in this inning are hurting the Wildcats to this point as Coach Free discusses things with Welch. Let's see who comes into the ballgame, whether it'll be Peyton Witter. He's usually the guy that comes in when the situation gets rough. There's only one out here in the inning.
Yeah, just what you're saying there. I know Caden really trusts his speed in his arm. But when you got a guy like Kalen Chesney right there and run the bases like he did, it makes that throw a little bit harder just because you feel like you got to get there a little bit faster, but still under control.
Let's take a break here while the music plays here. It's a long conversation taking place. I haven't seen any movement to get a new pitcher in. We'll be back to talk about whatever. Looks like Camden's going to stay in. So Welch is going to stay in, and that shows the trust that he has for the big sophomore left-hander that he has coached since he was a youngster. The Bobcats have runners at first and third. The go-ahead run at third base. Chesney with good speed at first. I would expect he might be going early as the batter steps in, and I believe that is Samuel Myers. He is 0 for 2 in the ballgame. Pitch is up high at the belt, a little above the belt, and outside. The count is 1-0. 3-3 our score.
2 flyouts to the infield. His 2 at bats, 1 to second, 1 to first.
Good speed at second. The pitch hit on the ground. Second baseman, they're going to get the run in. They got the one out at first, and Central leads it by a score of 4-3.
Hill scores for Central. Stepping in now for the Bobcats, number 21, the designated hitter, Alex Grossman.
So the Bobcats put 3 on the board in the 6th inning to take the lead 4-3. They still have a runner in scoring position out at second. And the batter is Alex Grossman. Grossman was a strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. He walked in the 5th. 2 errors in this inning have hurt the Wildcats. The guy at second is Chesney. The pitch cut on and missed. And that's a called strike. 2, either way. He did swing at it, and I think it was a strike. No balls and 1 strike, 2 outs. 4-3 now. The Bobcats in the lead. Oak Ridge has led the entire way until now. Pitch. 82-mile-per-hour pitch down low, and the count is 1-1.
I was just looking at who was due up for Oak Ridge, and it looks like Cy Stevens, Kai Welch, and Richie Ferrer in the 6th.
1 ball, 1 strike. Chesney at second. 3 runs in. Breaking pitch stays up high, and the count is 2-1. Looked a little high, just to be honest with you.
It started a little high, and I don't think it ever broke like Cam thought it would.
2 balls and 1 strike. Grossman, the designated hitter for the pitcher Miles Johnson. That ball's ripped foul. Ball hit right on the nose, but he was way ahead of it. And the count is 2-2. Sean doing camera work and the scoreboard work for us. Tomorrow, Oak Ridge takes on Central at Central, weather permitting, at Tommy Shumpert Park. It's not at the school like Oak Ridge. The field's separate from the high school itself. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Grossman, ball bounces away, and what's funny about that, Grossman was trying to get the runner to go, but then realized the ball wasn't that far away. He was like, go. No, don't go. But he didn't go, so it was kind of funny, his body language there.
Chesney, Chesney's got a lot of speed. He's kind of like Caden Black on the bases. He could have gone and possibly been safe at third.
3 balls and 2 strikes. But they've run themselves out of a couple innings, too. So that pitch should be strike 3, and it is. And he is strikeout number 6 for Camden Welch. But the damage has been done. The Bobcats score 3 runs to take a 4-3 lead over the Wildcats. They did it with a couple of errors helping their cause. Wildcats coming to bat in the bottom of the 6th, trailing now 4-3. We'll be back to Bobby Hopkins in a moment. Welcome back to Bobby Hopkins, the top of the 7th. The Wildcats trailing 4-3. The catcher, Jack Wood, leads things off for the Bobcats. He walked and lined out to Mikey Teasley in the 5th inning. 0-for-1 officially in the ballgame. Peyton Witter is the new pitcher for the Wildcats. Camden Welch takes over at first. There's a called strike, and that is strike 3 looking. That's out number 1 here in the 7th inning. Batter now will be the number 9 hitter for them, David Grimes. He's 0-for-2 in the ballgame. Flew out to left in the 3rd inning and was a strikeout victim in the 5th inning. 1 out here in the 7th. Nobody aboard. The pitch. Called strike on the corner. Called strike 1.
4 pitches and 4 strikes for Peyton here, coming in really hot.
Ball's hit on the ground. Shortstop side. Throws on the first in time for out number 2. Ball was hit right on the button, but Caden made a nice play on a hard hit ball, and that is out number 2.
Batting now for Central, center fielder number 2, Nick Reardon.
Nick Reardon is the batter for the Bobcats. He scored after walking back last inning, was a strikeout victim in the 3rd, and flew out to left in the 1st inning as well. Peyton Witter trying to keep it right where it is at 4-3 as the Bobcats bat in the 7th inning. The Wildcats will have Warren East to lead things off. There's a swing and a miss. And the count is 0-2. Witter working quickly. He looks in for the sign immediately.
7 pitches already.
Here comes an 0-2 pitch. That's up high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. As I mentioned, the Wildcats will have Warren East to lead things off. Then the top of the order, Caden Black and Mikey Teasley. Those are the guys you want batting in the 7th, down 4-3. That pitch is up high and inside. And the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, 4-3 Bobcats. District ball game here at Bobby Hopkins. Welch in relief of Camden. All right, Witter in relief of Camden Welch. That pitch is up high. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Peyton and Cam just switch spots there. Camden goes to first base.
3-2 pitch inside, and that's a walk. Stephanie Thompson, have you ever seen somebody who works for you like Coach Branson over there do multiple duty? He does the PA, he does my color, and he does my Twitter.
He is pretty impressive.
Yes, he is.
And I've known him since he was about 15.
Wow.
That's very unfortunate for everybody involved.
Pitches hit foul and out of play. Count is 0-2. I noticed your youngest was here earlier. How's he doing?
Matthew's doing awesome. Still working for Mercedes.
Okay, I'm glad that he's back at work.
Me too.
A little hip action. They had to be attended to. Here's the pitch. Runner going. Parker's throw, and he is out. Yep, another caught stealing. And once again, the third base coach argues. I mean, the throw is there, and he is out. And once again, the argument will take place. Their third base coach, I don't know if he's their head coach, he hasn't seen a call he's like yet. And he argues the point, but it's a moot point. That is out number 3. So Peyton Witter does his job. Now it's up to the Wildcat Bats. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Here at Bobby Hopkins Field, the Wildcats trail Central 4-3. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back once again to Bobby Hopkins Field. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Wildcats will send in a pinch hitter. It'll be the senior Alex Franklin. That would be Aiden Alexander Franklin, leading things off for the Wildcats.
We call that in our house being three-named, David.
Right. Alex stands in. Alex has done a really good job. Alex had a really big hit last year against, I think it was last year, it might have been the year before, where he knocked in his brother Jacob Franklin against Central at Central. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before.
I believe he had a big hit in the POW game this year as well that ended up helping tie the game.
Ball 2.
I really like the substitution here of Alex coming in. You know, he's patient at the plate, never really extends out of the strike zone, and plays within himself. And you know, a veteran guy, a senior, you love to have him at bat.
And we've also seen him lay down bunts before. Right now he's ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Third baseman is playing even with the bag at third. Would Coach Free risk it? We'll see. 2 balls and no strikes. There's a called strike. Perfect pitch that time, right down the middle at the knees. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Johnson still pitching for the Bobcats. That pitch is hit into center field and caught for the out. The ball was hit right on the nose, but that is out number 1. Top of the order we go to Caden Black. Caden on the ball game. Let's see. He was hit by a pitch, stole a base, and scored the Wildcats' first run. He doubled in a run in his second plate appearance, and he flew out to right field. Well, he lined out to deep right field his last plate appearance. We need to get him on base somehow. He's the leadoff man for the Wildcats, has been really sitting at the top of the order for the last 4 years. He has a tendency to have good at-bats in situations like this, and we need one of those, and he's hit by a pitch. Well, close to it. Oh, should have worn it that time, as the players say, to get him on base, but he's tired of getting hit, I'm sure.
I don't know, David. I kind of thought it caught the back of his jersey there. I thought I heard it kind of pass by, but
I wish Caden had sold it a little bit better and just kind of went on down, and because when Caden gets on base, he's in scoring position quickly. 1 ball, no strikes, the pitch. That's up high. 2 balls and no strikes.
although you know they don't want to put him on here and get him in scoring position because you're only up by 1, so you might as well pitch to him.
Correct. Johnson comes to the plate. Outside corner for a called strike. And the count is 2-1. There's a lot of loud Central fans have made the trip from Fountain City today. 2 balls and 1 strike. Caden Black, senior, trying to get on base. Cut on a miss. That most likely was ball 3, but you can't tell a guy who hits the ball as well as Caden Black to lay off of something. Count is 2-2.
Probably a little inside there, and, you know, Caden gets up there and wants to be aggressive at the plate, too, and try to get himself in good position.
1 out, nobody aboard. 2-2 pitch about to be made by Johnson. The pitch, that did hit him. Or did it hit the bat? Caden is hit by a pitch for the 2nd time in the ballgame. And the other day he was hit 2 or 3 times, and so here we go. That's a good opportunity for the Wildcats. I thought maybe it might have, I heard it pop, and I don't know if it hit the bat, but it evidently hit Caden, and he is trying to walk it off. He is hurting, holding one of his wrists, and Mikey Teasley stands in. Mikey has doubled, he's walked, he's scored a run, reached on an error as well. So officially he is 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Hope Caden's okay. That might have hit him right on the wrist. And we need him in scoring position. Let's see how quickly in the count he goes. Mikey steps in. Pitch to him is a called strike. Teasley will be followed in the Travis Free lineup by Peyton Witter. 1 out, 1 on. Wildcats trailing 4-3. The tying run is at first base in the person of the speedy Caden Black. Draws a throw. Back to the bag he goes. Mikey, as I mentioned, has a double to his credit today. Caden has stolen a base today. He's been on base 3 times. It seems to be very repetitious. I say that a lot. Caden takes a better lead. Not quite his full lead that he likes to take. Not going. That pitch bounces away from the catcher, and he is in scoring position. Takes a wide turn around second. So the Wildcats' tying run is at second base with 1 out. And Mikey has a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And now the catcher out to talk to the pitcher. Let's see. Are they going to walk Mikey intentionally again? That would be putting the winning run on base. Not really what the analytics would say to do. But it's high school ball, a little different from the major leagues. Peyton Witter's a good hitter. And Wildcats will have the tying run at second. We're in the bottom of the 7th. The Wildcats trailing 4-3. Hit batsman the second time today. Let's see if the Wildcats can make Mr. Johnson pay as Mikey Teasley steps in. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom of the 7th, 4-3 Bobcats. Pitch outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Like we said in the past couple of years, David, this little series has been really tight both ways. Oak Ridge winning, 2-1, 3-1, and Central winning the district tournament last year. Really close games all around.
2 balls, 1 strike. Miles Johnson checks the runner. Black at second. Teasley, the pitch to him. Hit in the air, in the gap, right center field, and it's going to go to the wall. Here comes Caden Black. He's rounding third. He's coming in to score, and the Wildcats have tied the ball game 4-4. Mikey Teasley comes through again with his second double of the ball game, and we are tied, and the winning run is at second base on the gap double by Mikey Teasley. Big hit by Mikey.
Now for Oak Ridge, number 9, the pitcher, Peyton Williams.
Now Peyton Witter can win it with a base hit. 4-4 our score. Bottom of the 7th inning. Teasley, the base runner at second base. Peyton Witter is 0 for 2 in the ball game with a walk. Good contact guy. Facing Miles with the winning run at second base. The pitch bounces away. Here comes Mikey Teasley heading towards third. He throws the ball almost away. Mikey's at third base now. A fly ball of any depth will win the ball game for the Wildcats. Peyton Witter with a 1-ball, no strike count. Miles Johnson entered this inning. His team up 4-3. Made the mistake of hitting Caden Black, then threw one wild, advancing the runner to second, and then the booming double by Mikey Teasley, and the Wildcats have the winning run at third base in a 4-4 ball game in the bottom of the 7th. Here we go, the Wildcats with the winning run at third base, 4-4 the score. Mikey Teasley has just tied the ball game with a double. Peyton Witter is batting, and they're going to walk him intentionally.
Oh, wow. You know what that means? It's P time again.
And the Wildcats bringing in Parker Free, the freshman. Parker had a sacrifice fly and an RBI, and they're going to walk him intentionally. That's going to set up a force at every base. So the Wildcats will have the bases loaded. It doesn't matter. Peyton's run, Parker's run, doesn't matter, and it's going to be up to Camden Welch. Camden in the ball game has a sacrifice fly and an RBI. He flew out to center field and lined out to the pitcher. As Izzy Mitchell comes into the ball game, he'll be running for the pitcher, Peyton Witter. Camden, the Wildcats, with the bases loaded, so a force at every base. The Wildcats are also going to get, looks like Carson Fagan as a runner. Carson's going to be the runner at first base. Parker will head back to the dugout, hopefully not to put on his catching gear again tonight. Wildcats just need a sacrifice fly. The infield will be in on the corners, deep in the middle infield. Miles Johnson still pitching. The batter is Camden Welch. There's no count on him, is there?
There is no count on Camden because both batters were previously walked. And so Camden flew out in the outfield his first 2 at bats. So any type of fly ball in the outfield, Mikey's going to score.
Yeah, he's got a sacrifice already to his credit. And Miles has been a little wild, too, so anything gets past the catcher, that could also score a run. Bases loaded. 4-4 the score in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch to Cam. Outside, a ball. 1 ball, no strikes the count. Of course, a bases loaded walk would do the trick. 1 out, bases loaded, bottom of the 7th, tie ball game, 4-4. Miles Johnson has the sign. Camden Welch, the sophomore, steps in. The 1-0 pitch. Here it comes. Ripped deep to the wall. The game is over. The Wildcats win. Oak Ridge wins. RBI walk-off single for Camden Welch. And the celebration in right field as the Wildcats walk off the Bobcats here at Bobby Hopkins Field. The ball drilled to the gap. No way in the world, whether it's caught or not, as the Wildcats win the ball game by a final score of 5-4. Walk-off fashion here at Bobby Hopkins. 5-4, the Wildcats win. What a game. Great come-from-behind win by the Wildcats. Camden Welch drills it. Mikey Teasley scores the winning run. And Oak Ridge has won it by a final score of 5-4.